This is Jeff Mucci, RCR Wireless News. We're in Palo Alto today meeting with Shrikant Latkar, who's AVP of Marketing, Worldwide Marketing, for probably one of Palo Alto's largest startups, Arison. So thank you for joining us this morning.
Thank you, Jeff, for the opportunity.
You were born 3 years ago. Tell us a little bit about how Arison was formed and who some of your partners are.
Yeah, Arison was formed about 3.5 years ago, and at that time, if you look at the entities that included Arison, we were born out of Flextronics Software, right. And KKR and Sequoia Capital were the primary investors that took us private. Mm-hmm. And as part of this, Frog Design was included as part of the spin-out. And 3.5 years ago, it kind of appeared strange to a lot of people is what is a premier design firm or innovation firm like Frog Design doing with, software firm, which Flextronics Software, which was primarily through acquisitions of Hughes Software and a number of other companies doing together. And this was prior to the iPhone era. And if you look at what is happening now, there are a number of companies, both service providers and OEMs, are trying to compete on the best subscriber experience.
Right.
And Arison is ideally positioned to help our customers deliver on that experience, design the experience, and then execute on that experience to deliver the best products and services to the consumers.
Tell us a little bit about the history of, on the Flextronics software side, what were some of the core products that Flextronics brought to the table? And then separately, we'll talk about Frog Design, what they brought to the marriage.
Right. So Flextronics software, the products were not really end products. These are product enablers, jump starts. And we have 125 licensable products, and these include like IP stacks, SS7 stacks. We have continued to invest in a variety of areas, including Metro Ethernet, LTE, multimedia codecs, high-definition video, right. Things like that.
And so on the Frog Design, what does Frog bring to the marriage?
Well, Frog brings their, it's a 40-year-old brand. It's marquee customer engagements. They work on the next future in terms of technologies, and there are some very exciting things that have been demonstrated in the past as well as recently as at the CES show where Intel presented the future of retail digital signage, and that was a concept that we worked on.
Fascinating. So how is it bringing the creative culture of Frog Design to what I would call hardcore software, telco software? How is it bringing those two cultures together?
Well, this is a challenge that a lot of our customers experience as well, is when you want to take something that looks great on a whiteboard and really want to commercialize an end product. It is challenging and there are studies that indicate, from the whiteboard to the final product, maybe you get 40% of it right.
Right.
And what we are doing is really bringing these two teams together and working in harmony. So when you say if you want to design the best consumer electronic device, it's not just the user interface or the form factor, or it's then you have to translate that to chipsets, to power optimization, to battery life,
right.
to performance optimization, delivering the best video on that, right? So by integrating these two things together, we are enabling our customers realize that vision based on which started with the whiteboard and deliver the best subscriber experience.
Mm-hmm. So is it safe to say that from Flextronics software, you had relationships with the major OEMs? And then Frog Design, did you have relationships in the service provider world at that point in time, or is that something that has occurred over the past couple
years? That has occurred over the years. We work with 9 of the top 10 OEMs worldwide. 7 of the top 10 service providers are our customers, and so are 8 of the top 10 device makers. So we really cut across the entire telecommunications ecosystem from that perspective.
Okay. So can you describe for me the product offering you have for the carriers and the product offering you have for the OEMs? How those compare and contrast those two for me?
Right. So the challenges for the service providers is really, the battlefield has changed from providing the best network coverage to providing the best subscriber experience.
Right.
And, more so with, big internet companies entering the fray and device makers like Apple coming in and really showing the consumers, what is a good subscriber experience. So carriers are now realizing that I need to deliver the best subscriber experience to keep people, to attract consumers and to keep them. Mm-hmm. So we work with carriers that starts from the whiteboard phase to say, what is the brand, what is the subscriber experience you want to deliver to your consumers. Start from there and then look at the technology in terms of, the networks that need to be deployed, that need to be tuned, the kind of applications that need to be developed, and then, how you tie all this together to the back-end systems, which is the OSS and the BSS systems, right, from billing, operations, minimizing truck roll. So, we work with carriers in delivering this offer, what we call as experience engineering. And, large carriers are aggressively looking at developing experience strategies, and they work with us to develop those and deliver on those strategies.
So is that another way of saying you're helping the carriers avoid being a dumb pipe?
Very much so. It's in fact, there are some very good quotes from analysts like Gartner as well as Booz, Booz and Company, where they say that, carriers who are going to invest in delivering the best subscriber experience can significantly increase their revenue from consumers. And you are going to aggressively see a lot of the larger carriers deliver on these strategies in the next 12 months or so.
Okay. What's your strategy for Android?
Android is a big part of our offerings. In fact, about 2 months ago, we launched our Android practice. Mm-hmm. We recently won an award for our Media EXP software suite with Android enhancements. And this is all around, working with device makers to really deliver on a differentiated Android experience. Having an Android device is table stakes. But then how do I deliver the best subscriber experience that is unique to me is what a lot of the manufacturers are working on for the next generation of Android handsets. Mm-hmm. And we are delivering them jump starts, things like high definition video codecs as an enabler to the product. Right. And then also help them with delivering on the subscriber experience from a handset perspective.
And to wrap up, Ericsson is one of the largest privately held or privately owned companies in Silicon Valley. Mm-hmm. Can you tell us a bit about the revenue, employees, where you operate?
Sure. So we last year's revenues that we have shared is we did $465 million in revenue. Mm-hmm. We have been growing continuously since we formed at the CAGR of 25%. Right. We have 8,000 plus employees globally. We have 33 offices in 19 countries. We have R&D centers in India, China, Ukraine, as well as some locations in Europe. Mm-hmm. We have a pretty big center out of in the East Coast in New York. Mm-hmm. So, we are very well spread. Again, marquee customer accounts, growing aggressively in terms of revenue, in terms of customer engagements.
Got it. Shrikant, thank you so much for coming by today.
Thank you,
Jeff. Nice to meet you.
Yeah, it was great.